let me get back to the WikiLeaks DNC email leaks. Yesterday, I told you that as a result of some hacking that was done, and I'll give you more details about that later, WikiLeaks released a whole bunch of emails showing undeniable lack of neutrality by the Democratic National Committee, trying to help crown Hillary Clinton as the Democratic nominee, trying to hurt Bernie Sanders' chances, preventing his campaign from getting going to the extent they were able to. It was embarrassing. It was disgusting. It was anti-democratic. It is absolutely dishonest. The apology we heard is even worse and completely ridicules the entire idea that they are in any way taking blame for the actual lack of neutrality rather than the emails getting out. The problem is, and what I want to tell you today is, it's actually even worse than we originally thought, because new elements of the story have been revealed by the leaks. And now that we've had more time to look at the details of the emails, it's become clear that the DNC was actively trying to hide the details of the fundraising deal that they had struck with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton would do these joint fundraising gigs with the Democratic state parties across the country, and it would ultimately allow the state parties to keep a tiny fraction of the money raised. When I say a tiny fraction, I'm talking about under 1%, and by some calculations, under 0.5% of the money raised. This led to $82 million being raised, of which the state Democratic parties appear to have kept somewhere around 0.5% to 1%. Why make such a deal in the first place? Well, it was called the Hillary Victory Fund. It allowed the Clinton campaign to seek the contributions of hundreds of thousands of dollars from individuals to attend these extravagant fundraisers. One was a dinner at George Clooney's house. George Clooney admitted the amount of money people were spending was, I forget the word he said, but ridiculous was the point he was making. And the point made by the Clinton allies was that when they were going to be questioned about what was going on because some financial disclosures went out and people started looking at them, including the Sanders campaign, and they were saying, hey, wait a second, you're doing these joint fundraising things, but the money is basically just going back to Hillary Clinton and to the National Democratic Party, which we now know was committed to helping Hillary Clinton. So basically 99.5% of the money was going back to help Hillary Clinton's campaign. So the DNC WikiLeaks emails have now revealed to us that the DNC was coordinating with Clinton allies and others to say, oh, this money is being used to help down ballot Democratic candidates by helping the state parties raise money by participating in the fund. The problem, Lewis, is we've now figured out that those coordinated talking points were totally bogus. Almost none of the money went to those state parties to help down ballot candidates.
Not very surprising. Some of it did. They at least have that going for them, 1%, 3%, whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, people were essentially being paid, DNC, whatever you want to call them, DNC employees,
Staffers,
DNC officials, staffers, being paid with that money to ensure that Hillary Clinton would win the nomination. It's appalling, but it's not surprising.
No, none of this is surprising when you consider the big picture, but it's amazing how deep the rabbit hole is going. And we've now looked at the emails involving DNC Deputy Communications Director Eric Walker and his boss, Luis Miranda. And it reveals that they were actively saying, here's how we answer questions about the fact that all the money's going back to Hillary Clinton. We are going to say the DNC nationally is building the tools and capacity for the general election. Well, yeah, for Hillary Clinton, because you've already decided that that's who you're going to be helping. It was all BS. It was all part of the ploy to boost up Hillary Clinton. And I want to repeat this once again, because I think some people are misunderstanding me here. There is nothing illegal or objectively wrong with the Democratic National Committee helping one candidate over another. And some people have emailed me and said, David, look, there's actually a good reason to help Hillary Clinton if you're the DNC. Bernie Sanders has been an independent for a very long time. He showed up and he said, I'm running as a Democrat, and he doesn't really deserve the help of the DNC. Fine. That's an opinion. It may not be an opinion I agree with, may not be an opinion you agree with, or whoever else. That is a perfectly legitimate debate to have. The problem is that it claimed to be a neutral arbiter. So when you hear that the DNC has scheduled 4 debates originally, or 3 debates, whatever it was. One of them on a long weekend coinciding with NFL playoffs or whatever it was. And we go and we say, hey, this is obviously meant to hurt Bernie Sanders. And they say, oh, we're neutral in this. We're neutral. We're not doing anything wrong. That is what the problem is, Lewis. And if they just said, yeah, we pick people and Bernie hasn't even really been a Democrat, fine, we're all on the same page. We get it, right? And we can all operate honestly. That's not what happened.
Yeah, if it's perfectly fine to be impartial. If you're going to...
Or partial, you're saying. It's fine to be partial if you're honest about it.
It's fine to be both.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be partial, make sure that your rules don't say that you have to be impartial. That's pretty cut and dry. But also where this gets messy is the states where there is conflict, where perhaps you can't vote in a certain primary if you're registered as one party, or if you're an independent, you might not be able. I mean, that's when things start getting really messy, and the legality of things starts to become a bit gray. And it's kind of a separate issue, but that's still a big problem.
No doubt about it. Discuss this with us on our Facebook page, which is closing in on 50,000 Facebook likes, facebook.com/David Pakman Show. Give us a like, help us get to 50,000. And of course, this is viewer-supported media. I would truly appreciate it if you signed up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. And one of the great benefits is we do an entire extra show just for our members every single day.